All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. James with Team Finish Strong. I'm here this morning getting ready for stage 4. And you know what's interesting about stage 4 is I have no idea what I'm riding this morning. Absolutely no idea. I had just enough time this week to sign up. I did not pay attention to where I am going. So we will see where this mystery stage takes us today. And I'll tell you, I was in a rush this morning to get the live stream set up, and I am like wore out from that. But we're here, and I thank God for that. You know, as believers, we believe that sometimes that the enemy, Satan, tries to stop God's plans, and we do believe in an adversary for sure. And he certainly has people that he uses at times too to do his work as well. But you know, as a believer, I am reminded of the rock solid promises of God regarding our overcoming every power of the enemy. And I personally stick to the very simple verse, which God said first to Abraham, and I believe applies to all of his children, which includes us, that I will bless those that bless you, and I will curse those that curse you. So I trust in the sovereignty of God for my life and my situation, and for his work. So I thank God for that. I have seen God at work in many ways, both to bless me and to bless those that are a positive part of my life, and to deal with those powers that have conspired to stop the work of God at times in my life. And I shared about that in one of my reflections. So I definitely have seen it at work, and it is a rock solid promise that I hold to. We'll go ahead and go over to the event. I'm not even sure where we're going. Let's see. Does not say London. Okay, guys, we're going to London today. And there we are. We are doing the London Loop, which I am not too familiar with. If anybody's in the chat this morning, I know it's kind of early. If anybody's in the chat and can tell me what the London Loop consists of, is it flat? Not all of London is flat, so I'm not exactly sure what we are going to do this morning. In fact, I'm not even sure if Greg or anybody showed up. Greg, I know you're a few time zones behind me, so chances are Greg is not joining us this morning, which is absolutely understandable. We are going to have great company here as we have an unknown number of people that we are riding with this morning. They'll give us a number here, I think, as soon as we cross the start line, I'm guessing. See how many folks we got here. Hey, look, where's the... well, there goes Bernie, the 1.5, but I wasn't even planning on doing 1.5 today. I'll be honest with you guys, because of all the rush and lack of preparation for this morning, I think I'm just going to take it easy this morning. Literally, it's going to be probably about this pace today. So if you were planning on joining in riding and chose not to because of that, then you made a good choice today, because today is going to be an extra slow pace today. We got 1.3. I think that's on a downhill, though. I saw 1.5 before. So, yeah, I'm have not been willing to push a steady 1.5 yet. I'm pretty happy with the pace that I am at today, and the pace that I've been at on these last rides. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate the ride on. So we are just gonna chill and soft pedal this whole thing, which gives us plenty of time to chat. So if any of you early birds are out there and want to chat, feel free to hit me up in the chat window, which is unfortunately not working at the moment. So let's see here. It's working on what you guys see on my display here, but it is not working on my internal chat window, and unfortunately, that's the only one I can read. So I am unfortunately not going to be able to respond to the chat unless somehow God heals my eyes and makes them 30 years younger so I can read that small print. But I appreciate you coming. One thing I did want to make mention today on the broadcast is about leveling up in Zwift. We talked about levels a little bit in the last broadcast, and I just want to touch on that a little bit more because Zwift is always bringing more and more people into the sport. And some of you who are probably new to Zwift don't know how you can maximize your ability to level up in Zwift with absolutely zero effort. Now, I know I'm already starting to sound like an infomercial, so please don't turn me off. But it is proven, and you can check it out. You can check it out. Here, let me show you here. So up above my head, there is a display in the middle that shows kilometers per hour, total of kilometers ridden, total meters climbed, and the elapsed time along with some other information. Well, I want to draw your attention to the middle bar, in the middle of that bar where it's showing the odometer, the total kilometers ridden. Now, when that ticks over to 1 kilometer, I'm going to get some experience points for that. Now, because I am on a fast track as a level 50 plus Zwifter, I'm going to get double points for this click over here. But as soon as it clicks over to 1 kilometer, see there, 40 XP. So that's double the normal amount of 20 XP per kilometer. So in Zwift, you get 20 experience points per kilometer ridden. Now, those experience points are what gets you your way onto the levels that you're looking to achieve, whatever that happens to be. Maybe it's level 25, maybe it's level 50 or beyond. Maybe you want to get those disc wheels, right? And they're unlocked at, I think, level 38 or 42 or something like that. The 858 Super 9s, maybe you're triathlete, and that would be the perfect fit for your build out. And it certainly would, let me tell you. But the only way to get there is by riding. But you can save yourself thousands of experience points over the time that you're on the application by simply choosing kilometers as your base unit of measure. And you might be wondering, well, how on earth does that make a difference? Why should I choose kilometers over miles? You know, if you're in the imperial system, maybe England still uses that. I know the USA loves the imperial system. Miles is familiar to a lot of folks, so you can gauge your effort. You can gauge how long of a workout you want to have. Those are all good things, and you may want to stay on the imperial system for that reason. However, let me just say this, that when you do choose miles, okay, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And the disadvantage is that you get 30 experience points per mile versus the 20 experience points per kilometer. Now, let's work the math out here, okay? Gosh, I'm trying to. So, a kilometer is 0.62 of a mile, okay? 0.62. I think those of us who've done metric centuries, who've done 100-kilometer rides, we know it's 62.15 miles, something like that, 62.1 something miles. So you know how far you have to go to do a metric, okay? 100 kilometers. So 1 kilometer, we drop that decimal back down, is 0.62 miles, okay? 62% of a mile. Now, let's take those experience points I was just talking to you about. And the experience points I was talking about is that for every kilometer, we get how many points? 20 points. For every mile, we get 30 points, okay? So if we do some fractions here, right? 20 over 30, or 2 over 3, 2/3, is 0.667, okay, or 6666 all the way through. So the amount of experience points you get for kilometers is 66.7% that which you get for a mile. So you get 66% of the credit, okay, in terms of experience points, but you only have to do 0.62% of the effort, okay? You see where I'm going with this? So what that means is that extra 4% difference that you see there is free. It's free experience points, and it adds up. You know, as you do hundreds of kilometers, that is a lot of points. That is a lot of extra points you're racking up if you do the math. I do have a video that covers it in my YouTube channel, down under my popular videos, I think, section, or my Zwift tips section. And it goes down all the math and shows you how much 1,000 kilometers, or maybe, yeah, I think 1,000 kilometers in Zwift will get you versus 1,000 miles, okay? Or the equivalent a number of miles in Zwift, and you'll see the points difference. It's pretty phenomenal. It's pretty phenomenal. I think it was something like 50,000 points, if I recall. Probably enough to get you a whole free level or more, you know, depending on how often you ride in the application. So I just wanted to point that out to you because it's not very talked about in Zwift. And for some reason, all these years, Zwift has never decided to change their point structure to make it exactly equitable. So there is a little bit of an advantage for the rest of the world who use kilometers in Zwift versus the Imperial. The USA is at a disadvantage in that regard. So check it out. Check out the video and post some comments. Let me know what you think about that. Getting some free kilometers. So that's what I've been doing ever since I discovered this. And gosh, it's been probably 4 or 5 years now. I've been on kilometers, and you know, you get used to it. When I was doing Zwift racing, I will tell you it was a little bit of an adjustment, especially in the timing of my sprints, because we're looking at meters instead of miles and feet at that point. But you know, when I was training for my sprints, I would do 300-meter sprints for training, and so working in kilometers actually worked out better for me in terms of my timing of my sprints because it's in meters. I don't have to do the translation, so it worked out really good. And it may work out better for you too. All right. Well, we are all amongst our lonesome here in Zwift. Let me take a peek here and see what we got around us. We are with the stragglers today. In fact, it says we're 433 out of 459, but I literally see only one person coming up behind me here, and they are probably going to end up passing me. And I may, in fact, achieve the, gosh, what is that award for being in last place, right? What's the last place award? I know there's an event out there that has a last place award. And I'm about to achieve that one today, especially on these little bumps like this where having some extra watts per kilo would certainly be helpful. But yeah, everybody's motivated today in Zwift, guys. Everybody's motivated. Everybody's out there and off ahead down the road. You know, if they had a 1.1 group like they do on the pacer groups, then I'd be all for that. I'd be clumped up with the 1.1s, but I guess there just aren't any out here. Everybody wants to run through these stages quick. Although I'm about to pass somebody, so this may in fact be the one and only person I get to pass today. So I'm going to give that person a ride on for letting me have a little bit of self-esteem today. Thank you very much. All right, and now back to me. In fact, it's the only person left I can give a ride on to in my general vicinity because everybody's gone. Everybody's gone. Whew. All right. Well, it doesn't help, folks. that I've got the heat turned up in my house this morning for family, so I'm having to roast today while I am doing this effort. I suppose I should have opened up the window, but there's just something wrong about opening up the window in the dead of winter to let cold air in. It's just something that doesn't sit right with me about that. All right, John, thank you. Appreciate the ride on. That will boost my drops here somewhat. They're almost ticking off like seconds. Almost ticking off like seconds here. I am going so slow. I've never seen the drop meter spin so slow. But guys, it's what I got to do today. I had just a little bit of concern with keeping both the frequency of these events and the intensity of these events at the pace that I was doing them last week. So I'm glad I gave myself a couple of extra days off, and am going nice and slow. In fact, since it is blazing in here, I need to get this going. That'll help. That'll help bring my heart rate down a little bit. I won't have to be sweating it out. Well, guys, I still don't know the route that we're going. We've got 11 kilometers. I am a little more than quarter of the way through, I guess. Oh, that's cool. Statue of the bike. I don't think they really have that in London. If they do, please let me know. I would be curious to know. Oh, look, they're all people on bikes. Okay, I think they've transformed these statues. I think there's statues normally there, I'm guessing, in London. But I guess I would presume they're not statues of cyclists. Yeah, see, there we go. Now my heart rate's going down nicely. Okay, good. Yep. Yeah, heat always brings my heart rate up. I don't know about y'all. I'm not a person that likes riding in the heat. I tend to melt in the heat. So I will dodge, even though it's beautiful outside, I will dodge the hottest parts of the summer on these group rides for that reason. It was very hard for me to get heat adapted, especially last year. So, it is what it is. And I have nobody to use this drafting power up on. I have nobody to use this benefit. So I am just cruising here by myself. Oh look, we got a couple people here coming up. Wait, is that okay? That's me, and that's the person coming up behind me. Okay, got it. So we got somebody coming up behind, but they're going to go flying on by. So technically, I can probably use my power up for all of about 3 seconds as they zoom on by, and I probably will do that. Just to say I did. And here we go. And there we go. And there they go. With an extra bit of oomph. Because nobody likes a wheel sucker. That's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry, Hasselhund. I wasn't behind your wheel too long. All right. Well, I'm hoping for everybody's sake that this. We're making a left turn here. Okay, never mind. I thought we were doing some flat riding today, but we are not. We are not. So at some point, I'm going to be doing some climbing, which I really wasn't looking forward to doing at 1 watt a kilo. But it is what it is. Well, guys, there are some of you who are probably in my position where either you don't have the fitness or the health that you normally would prefer to jump into these events. But you know what? Just jump in anyway. Get the benefit from the events. Get the benefit from doing the events. And enjoy it. Although, if I could... Oh, yeah, we are going up a hill, aren't we? I can see all the pacers are already well on their way up. Probably Box Hill, I'm guessing. Unless we're dodging Box Hill. If we're dodging Box Hill and we're just kind of going on the bypass, then there's still some climbing, but it's not as bad. And I can't tell yet. We'll see. But you know, an honest assessment. I'll be real with you here. I probably would have more company out on Tempest Fugit at 1.1 watts a kilo than here today. I think whatever climbing we do have ahead of us is apparently scared off all the folks like me who really don't want to push too heavy for whatever reason, whatever reason. And I would like to know if London would ever do such a thing as putting plywood down on their subway system and let bikes ride in their tunnels. I don't think it's ever happened, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone from London? We got some folks here who, due to the earliness, that's not really a word, the hour here on the East Coast, there's some folks from England out here riding. So if you're out here riding or watching this stage, let me know. Has London ever boarded over the train system to allow a bike race to take place? I would like to know, was this a Zwift invention, or are they simply mirroring real life in some way? Well, there we go, folks. It is clear now. We are going up Box Hill. Okay. Well, this will be the first hill I have climbed in Zwift in probably 2 months. So we'll see how it goes. It definitely will not be a PR. That is for sure. That is for sure. All right. Well, for those of you who are just joining in or are new to this, you're wondering what this is. What is this? This is Zwift. It is a virtual platform for real-life cycling efforts. Now, it started out as a cycling game. However, now you can actually run and walk in Zwift. And although you won't see any, I don't think you'll see any of those in the Tour de Zwift event that I'm in today, because they segregate out these efforts. But you know what? Those of you who do know Zwift well, do they have running-related events in the Tour de Zwift? I don't think they do. I'm not sure, but I don't think they do. It'd be interesting if they ever decided to adopt that. That'd be interesting. I'd actually like to watch that and see folks blasting it at phenomenal speeds, like Khashoggi, breaking the 2-hour barrier. But in any event, yeah. So Zwift, again, getting back to on topic here, Zwift is a virtual simulation with real-world efforts, simulating a virtual world where you can ride in or run in or walk in. And there goes somebody with disc wheels going up Box Hill and showing us how it's done, because they are blazing past me. In fact, they might have lapped me. Is there a lap? No, there's no laps here today. This is just one lap. So he must have started the event late, I am guessing, based off of their pace. They would have been well up the road if they'd started out at 2 to 3 watts per kilo. But now they're slowing down. That's interesting. Okay. Anyhow, that being said, in order to participate in Zwift, you can't be a spectator. You have to be a participant. You have to actually get on a trainer, a bike, or a treadmill if you're a runner or a walker. Smart treadmill, I'm assuming. And you got to put the effort in. So above my head here, over here, are the real-world watts that I am cranking out to get up Box Hill. So that is the actual amount of power I am putting through the pedals here to get where I'm going. So, for example, if I were to downshift a couple of gears and stomp on it for a second, then there goes the watts. So that's how it's done. And it's super easy once you get the technical side figured out with the trainer and Bluetooth and all that. It's super easy to just jump on and get a ride in. Doesn't matter what's going on out your front door. As long as you have power, you can play Zwift. And I suppose if you had a generator and cellular internet, you could still play Zwift. So it really doesn't matter what's going on outside your windows if you want to get a workout in. And you can get a phenomenal workout in. You know, even though I am soft pedaling it today, I'm actually going to go into the little sprocket here for Box Hill, because one thing about Zwift is it is interactive for most folks. If you have a smart trainer, interactive trainer, when you start going up a hill, 7% grade, you're going to feel the resistance in your legs on the bike, and probably on the treadmills too. I think the treadmill's probably raising lower based off of that. That's my guess. I haven't seen it in action. But this is actually a little too easy here. Let me go a little bit harder there. Okay, so we're not here for 2 hours. But that said, you can get a good workout in, and no matter what ability level you have, you can find people out there who can ride with you or better than you. So if you're motivated by chasing people who are faster than you, then Zwift is definitely the place. You can jump on some Zwift races and get your butt kicked any day, any hour of the week. Because there are literally thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people on Zwift at any given time. And so you're bound to find some fast folks out there to ride with if that's your flavor. Likewise, if you are going on the slower side of things, easier pace, you will find some folks out there who are doing that too. So if you're a beginner cyclist, or if you've never ridden in your life and you just want to get a little exercise in every day that's low impact, Zwift can be the perfect thing for you. You don't have to even leave your house to do it. All right, so that's my Zwift commercial. But, you know, it's pretty fun. They've got, I don't know how many worlds now. I kind of covered them in one of my prior live streams. But it is not a static environment. They do reinvest in the community by creating new worlds and new routes. And sometimes new gear and new achievements to unlock. So they're pretty balanced in terms of continuing to the progression of the game. At this point, I really do think I could walk faster than I am riding. But it is what it is today. Let me see if I can go with just a little bit more. Try to do at least 1 watt a kilo here. Okay, well, okay, 1.4. There we go. Try that. Because we are still on the bottom stretch of Box Hill. I could be here for 20, 30 minutes, perhaps. Sorry. This is definitely not a flat course, folks. Definitely not a flat course. So that's probably why some of my compatriots in the 1 watt per kilo category decided not to participate this morning. We got good participation today. 459 folks have joined in. They're just all up the road. So, but you know, one thing you do get to enjoy at this pace is the scenery. So, no need to look at me. Let's look at the scenery. So, I give you a tutorial of the interfaces with. You have what's called camera views. Now, most of the time you can access, let's just say all the time, you can access your views through this control panel. You can do things like wave, okay? And you can control the camera views as well. It's a little bit clunky to do because you have to grab a mouse and kind of lean over and do this thing. But you have like 9 camera views. It's a lot easier to do it from the keyboard, and it's the number pad. So you can just press any number on the number pad. So this view that we're looking at right now that I can adjust is view 0. That's the user-defined view. So you can zoom way out, you can zoom way in. You can get a nice view that's centered on the rider, always centered on the rider. And then view 1 is the standard view, where you're out of body and seeing yourself from behind. which is good for like races and things if you want to make sure you are in the draft and you want to know who's around you and if anybody's coming up to do an attack. View 2, wait a second, View 1, View 2, okay, well, that's interesting. I guess I've never used View 2. View 2 is just a closer in version of that, I think. Yeah, nothing else to do on View 2. View 3 subtracts the person altogether, and now you are looking through your own virtual eyes. View 4 is a side-on view that shows your avatar from the side and that beautiful Tron bike. View 5 is, well, it's just nothing to say about that. Interesting view. View 6, you want to check out who's coming up behind you. Maybe a group is coming up and you want to latch on. This is a great view to prepare for that transition when it comes. View 7, I'm just waiting here because one of these views is a multi-view where it cycles through several views. This one is just a distance view of your avatar. There's the helicopter view, which can be interesting at times and actually more informative on some events. But, yep, there it is, the overhead shot, the spy satellite shot. Moving right along. And then I think the last one, view 9, cycles through. Let me see if I'm right. Or maybe I'm wrong. One of these views used to cycle through from different camera angles. But I don't think that's doing it anymore. Either that or I'm going just too darn slow for these transitions. Or maybe they only work they're only useful in group situations. So, well, there we go. Well, we got another latecomer here that is a minute and 17 behind me and someone who's a minute and 19 behind me. And they are, they're not working together actually, it looks like, because of the fact that there is a little bit of separation and difference in effort. So, while Jay Grant will probably catch me before we get to the top, I'm guessing. Let's see how fast of a rate. Well, okay, so Jay Grant must have heard me talking about him and slowed down. Oh, now he's back up again. Anyhow, one will probably catch me, one probably will not. All right, so we are going on, I'm guessing, about 1/3 of the way through through Box Hill. So we are slowly churning through this effort. Wish I had saved enough energy to do like a 1.5 effort up this thing, but I found that going 1.5 on the last ride was maybe just pushing it a little bit too much. So I'm going to be a bit more conservative today and keep it at around 1.1, or in this case 1.2. So and if it wasn't so hot in this room. All right. Well, a little bit more about Box Hill. Those of you who are new to Zwift, you may be, if you're a cyclist, you probably are familiar with Box Hill. To be honest with you, I wasn't familiar with Box Hill before the world of Zwift. It was my first exposure to Box Hill. But it is a real-life hill somewhere in England. I can't say exactly where. I don't know if it's in the Surrey Hills or not. Surrey Hills combines Box Hill into it, I think for the sake of the virtual environment, but I don't know if they're actually in precise proximity in the real world. So that being said, this is really what Box Hill looks like in real life. I am almost certain of that. But those of you who are from across the water can let me know, how realistic is this scenery? Does it really match Box Hill? Well, we're at least riding on the left-hand side of the road, so Zwift has that right, at least. But, as far as the scenery elements, the grade, width of the road, composition of the tarmac, the writing on the tarmac that you'll see here as we cross the next bend, I think a lot of that is genuine, or pretty close. So, I once again commend Zwift for taking the time to do a really good job on replicating some of these famous climbs. And it does seem to be the climbs that they tend to pay attention to and do a really good job on. Nobody remembers a famous flat. They do remember a famous climb. Yep, so Box Hill is one of them. They have 2 or 3 other hills that are in the London game. They're part of the Surrey Hills. I want to say Clark is one of them. I haven't ridden them in years. So those are significantly longer efforts, like maybe 20, 30-minute efforts, I'm guessing, for some fit folks, and probably hour plus for somebody going at this speed. You're getting probably 500 to 1,000 meters of climbing, maybe, when you climb in the Surrey Hills. Whereas in Box Hill, it's probably maybe 250 to 350 meters of climbing. So just a guess. So Box Hill is your beginner's hill in Zwift. And for a time when I was first in Zwift, and it was just London and Watopia and Richmond, I think, were the 3. And you know what? I forgot to mention about New York in my last broadcast. New York came along much later, but the big 3 were Watopia, London, and I think Richmond. And that was it for, a while. And then they added some to the Surrey's Hill expansion, and then eventually added more worlds. So, but Box Hill was a favorite of mine because of it being kind of like a famous real-life hill. I would tend to challenge myself and see how fast I could get up it. Once upon a time, I could get up it in about 8 minutes or so. But those days are over. That was cool. Look at that. I go up Surrey's Hill so fast, I never see things like that, whatever it is, off in the distance. That's probably really there in the real hill. I just don't know what it is. It looks like a castle turret. All right. Well, that was the last turn, sharp turn, hairpin turn, whatever you want to call it, on Box Hill. And now we just have a good bit of pedaling to get to the top. So we're getting closer to being about halfway up, I'm guessing, at this point. So, yeah, we're getting there. Grant is somehow not getting closer, I think, right? Grant's getting farther away. I'm not sure that's possible. Going a harder effort, but falling farther back? Or was I wrong about that? I really don't know. Maybe he stopped for a bit. Okay. Well, now that the fan is finally starting to give me some relief here, I might actually, maybe once we hit the paint, you'll see what I'm talking about. Once we hit the paint, I'll go ahead and bump it up to 1.5 and see how well I can hold it. Just didn't want to do the whole thing at 1.5. And I think that'll be it. I am predicting, and not saying I'm a soothsayer here by any stretch of imagination, I wouldn't want to be anyway, but I'm predicting that this is the one climb in this stage for us. And then it's all downhill to the finish with maybe one trip up the escalator to get us back into London proper. All right, so here's the pain I was talking about. I think it's there in real life. So once I hit the paint, I'll go ahead and up it to 1.5, see how long I can hold it before I get a little tired here this morning. Well, it has been quiet in the hills of Surrey and quiet here in the chat too. So I don't really know if the chat is working. My chat window, my internal chat window that I would normally see all your chats in, is broken. It's just got a spinning wheel of death right at the moment. But the in-game chat right here that you guys see on your screen does show that it is working. So, you know, if you have any questions or, oh yeah, here we go, 1.5. Sorry, promise 1.5. See if I can find a new steady effort here. Okay, what is that, about 100 watts? Nope. 125. Okay, we'll try that. 78 RPM. Anyhow, I think that's working, so feel free to join us in the chat if you want. It's pretty quiet out here. I am, well, the people counter says I am not dead last, though in the rider list, it appears to be that way. I only see two blips behind me, so I am not sure if there's any folks actually really truly back there beyond Toth. So I may be in third to last. I won't get the last person award this morning, apparently. Not unless Grant and Toth up their effort. But it looks like I've scared Grant off because he stopped and now he's jumping back on. So 1.5 was just a little bit too much juice for him, apparently, to try to catch up. And he quit. Sorry, Grant. I wasn't trying to discourage you, Grant. Really, truly. All right. Well, like I said, guys, in my last broadcast, 120-ish for heart rate is about where I want to keep it for this game. So I'll just keep it steady here. If it does climb higher due to the heat, I'll probably have to back it down. But we are moving through this at least a little bit faster. In fact, I'm actually going to overtake somebody at this point. Very good. Wow, 40 minutes in. Wow, we've really been at this for a while. That's what slowpoke climbing will do to you. It'll make a mountain out of a molehill. All right. It looks like C. Wright is going ahead and trying to match my pace, I'm guessing? I'm not sure. They're all over the place here. So, moving right along. Well, we have the winners on Box Hill, 6:07, a pretty good time. A pretty good time. You know, I'm trying to remember way back when Phil Guyman had his virtual cookie fondo, I think. Was that it? Was that during the pandemic, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, if you saw that. He had like a virtual cookie fondo. Sorry, a little more out of breath now at 1.5 here. So I think his virtual cookie fondo had us going up Box Hill And if you haven't seen that broadcast, you gotta check it out. That was a funny broadcast. I actually really gave Phil Guyman a lead out up Box Hill for all of maybe 15 seconds. I'm guessing a 15-second effort at about 400 watts. And then, of course, he just kept on going. I think he did it in about 6 minutes. Maybe less. Maybe less. All right. Well, the grade is leveling out. Thank you, Lord. So now it's just a little blip, and it actually goes downhill, I think, for a little bit towards the KOM, which is kind of counterintuitive. You know, like how can you go downhill to a KOM finish? But for some reason, that's how they do it here in Zwift. The KOM is downhill. And maybe that's the way it is in real life. Maybe there's some real life event that terminates the official top of the hill there. But oddly enough, after you've gone downhill and sprinted to try to get to the finish line first before other would-be KOMers, you have another little sharp climb at the end of it. Well, there we go. Woohoo! All right, finish Box Hill. Anybody keep track of? Okay, here we go. You guys can't see it, but I can see it. It's hidden behind the thing here. 24 minutes and 14 seconds is what it said. I am in 193rd. No, maybe I read that wrong. 133rd place? I don't know. Doesn't make sense out of 400 folks. Maybe it's 393rd. Still can't figure it out. Anyhow. So that is done. We've got, like I said, one little blip here to get up, and then I believe it's going to be downhill. So I guess my question to the viewers here is, why is the KOM back behind us instead of up here at the very crest? You know, is this technically a different hill in the real world? Is that why they don't count it? I don't know. But there is this little blip here that Zwift has before we go back down. So maybe those of you who are from Zwift HQ, you can explain why this little blip exists. And it's a steep one too. Here, yep. See, I'm probably 3 kilometers an hour. Let's see. Can we get down to 2? Can we get down to 2 kilometers an hour and fall over? Which you don't do in Zwift, by the way. 3 kilometers an hour. Wow. I could not ride that. I don't think I could ride that slow without falling over. All right. Let me put a little more work in here so we're not stuck on this for 5 minutes. But yeah, so they got this little blip here. Not even really a hill. It's more like a bump. You know, in races, normally folks would just sprint over this, you know, to try to get some places caught up before the big downhill. A little Zwift tip here for those of you who are looking to race or just try to ride conservatively, efficiently in groups. This is where you want to catch a group. So if you're in a mass start event and you've kind of been strung out because of that KOM finish line, this is your chance to get caught back on to a group before they zoom down the hill. Do not think you're going to catch on to a group after they've started going downhill. It is not worth the effort if it is even possible at all. It is not worth it. So this is one of those situations where this is your moment. If you are in an event and you are getting close to the top of this bump and the back end of the group is 20 meters or 30 meters in front of you, you got to hustle to get caught on. Otherwise, you will not see them. You will just see them disappear. That's the same for similar bumps. in Richmond, where after you go through the fan flats and you start going downhill to head to Liberty Hill and those other two hills, 23rd Street and Governor's Street, you got to get on that group before they go down that long, fast, straight descent. You will not be able to catch on. And likewise, I'm trying to think of, there's a third one in Zwift. I guess the one that I most recently had experience with was in Tempest Fugit, which is, well, actually, really, it would be TikTok. If you're riding the TikTok loop and you've gotten kind of gapped off a group going up out of Fuego Flats and descending down past Titans Grove, you got to get latched onto that group before you crest, because in that particular scenario on TikTok, you are transitioning from an uphill climb immediately back down to a downhill grade. And that can stretch and break the rubber band too. So you can either get caught in the wrong end of a split, or you might get thrown off the back like I did on the very last group ride that I broadcast on my live stream. So if you want to check out my my group ride fail, you can cycle back through my live streams and you'll see it. It was actually quite amusing. I signed up for something that I was thinking was a 2.5 watts per kilo, and they were doing 3 to 3.5 watts per kilo on the flats in the draft. In the draft. It was hilarious, actually. It was quite hilarious. So that group ride ended prematurely. All right, well, here we go. There is actually no point to in Zwift to actually pedal down these. You actually can go faster if you just super tuck. Well, if you are going fast enough to super tuck, which I am actually not, because I don't have a group to benefit from. Okay, there we go. So to super tuck in Zwift, which is what we're doing here, you have to be going at least, I think, 56, 57 kilometers an hour, or 36, 37 maybe miles per hour. It's been a long time. Once you reach that threshold, and if the grade is 3% or more, like see how here, even though I was going faster, the grades leveled out, which I think we're done anyway. We're down that fast. No, here we go. We're going back down again here. But see, I don't have the speed at this point. If you go at least 56, 57 kilometers an hour, and the grade is at least 3%, you can stop pedaling. You can stop pedaling and super tuck. And in this case, I slowed down. Oh well. So there you go. That's how you super tuck. Super tuck gives you free speed because you're increasing your aerodynamic efficiency. And so it's actually equivalent to about maybe 1.5 to 2 watts per kilo effort. Like if you're not super tucking, you got to go probably 1.5 watts per kilo, I think, to stay at the same speed as someone who's super tucking near you. Unless you're in their draft. That's a different story. That's that. Here we go. Rolling back on in. Hey, if any of you have actually stuck around for the whole broadcast, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed seeing the world of Zwift and London, both above and below ground, and getting a little bit more to know about Zwift in the process. So that's what I am here for today. Because I'm definitely not here to race, unfortunately. I loved racing when I could do it, but I am 53 now, so my body is telling me to move on to other things in life. So I will. But suffice it to say, this particular section was always one of my favorite sections when I raced. Because being a sprinter, short, hard efforts, that's my thing. You know, that's my thing when I was able to do it. So, if I needed to, I remember 1 or 2 races where it was me and like a small groupette of maybe 2 or 3 guys, and the finish line, you know, in this particular scenario, the finish line is only probably another kilometer up the road. Yeah, 1.7 kilometers up. So I would hit this at 10 plus watts per kilo to create some separation from my competitors, and that's some good Zwift racing advice. If you have a small groupette and you want to solo away for a first place finish, this is the place to do it. This is the place to get that separation. You know, if you are sprinter material. If you're sprinter material and the lead group is pretty massive, you know, pretty big, you know, more than a few folks, then you may just want to stay sheltered until the last couple hundred meters, you know, and then uncork. But you know, if you're not in that situation, this is the best place to create separation. There's no other place in the last 2 kilometers where you can create separation as easily without giving your competitor a draft benefit in the process. So this is it. And this is it. There we go. Off the planks, onto the floor. Which, interestingly, I think over in England, don't they call the street the floor too? So I am correct on all counts. We are onto the floor and out the door. Waving hello to the people at whatever station we are in as we're leaving. And now we're back on tarmac and 1.5 kilometers to the finish. And who we got? Okay, C. Wright's trying to race here. They picked it up. They picked it up and caught up quite a bit while I wasn't paying attention. Thank you, M. Foster. Appreciate the ride on today. Well, folks, I am really sorry I cannot give you a more entertaining ride, you know. If the Lord wills more strength and endurance for me, then I will be happy to oblige because I love spicing it up in the world of Zwift. So I will keep you guys posted. I know it's been a very long absence before my participation in Zwift, and it's been for that very reason. It's been for the fact that having some health challenges these days and trying to navigate them, and doing so in a way that promotes better health for me, better outcomes for me, rather than worse outcomes. And so I have to keep the exercise light to moderate for now. But I didn't want to disappear off the face of the earth completely. So thus, I'm here. And I was really glad to see you, Greg, out there on the last stage. Really enjoyed riding. I definitely could have used the company this morning. But, you know, climbing is what it is. You know, it's not really a team effort. Climbing is an individual effort for sure. So it was well appropriate today. And with that, we are about to sign off, folks. We are now under 1 kilometer. And we had, in total, 200 meters. So I was a little bit on the generous side with Box Hill, apparently. Apparently, Box Hill is not as many meters of climbing as I thought. I was thinking that was at least a 250-meter hill. But I may be translating it to feet. I may have been thinking 250 to 350 feet rather than meters, based off of the amount of time that usually takes to get up it. I think that's probably more along where it is, probably about 200 feet, based off of the meters, you know. Maybe probably 3 to 350 feet is what it is, actually, in real life. If anybody knows, let me know. And with that, as we are passing by Windsor Castle, is that what it is? Windsor Castle? I believe so. I could be wrong. And we're about ready to see the banner. And C. Wright has decided to post it on in. So, no entertainment for you there, guys, to see if C. Wright would catch me at the finish. And we are done. That's it. The banner should be right around the corner. We are hitting the last 200 meters. And there we go. This is where I'd be uncorking it, folks. If it was a race. Yep. Hey, wait a second here. Okay, there it is. Okay, I was like, wait a second. Gosh, it's farther back than I remember. That's it, guys. Another live stream under the belt. So this is stage 4. Hope y'all have had a chance to get involved with the Tour de Zwift. If you have, give me a shout in the comments. I will, if I am doing stage 5 and following, I will let you know, guys, in the comment of this video. So when this posts to YouTube, which I believe it's going to it's posted. Wow, look at that! Wow, we just got caught. Oh, we're out of the event now. That's why we're getting caught by a whole bunch of folks. So I will post the next stage in the comments. I don't know if it's going to be midweek or if it's going to be next weekend. I am adjusting the well, I guess it's going to depend on how long the stage is running for too. So I got to figure all that out, and I'll let you guys know. But appreciate those of you who did tune in early this morning on the East Coast, or in the dead of night on the West Coast, or wherever you're at in the world. Have a great one, great Saturday. Take care. God bless. And as always, folks, finish strong. Take care.